have to do this? Inu asked. Currently, the Cerberus sisters were in the training room, facing off against Kiba, who was staring them down confidently. Of course we do. I wanna see just how strong those O.P.C.S are. Yaba smirked, as she cracked her knuckles. I'm also curious. Brother said they were dangerous, I wanna see how careful we should be. Ji said, her neutral expression not wavering. You don't think we'll lose, do ya, sis? Yaba asked, raising an eyebrow. It's not that, I just don't think Big Brother would want us to hurt his kids. Inu admitted. Oh? More confident than I expected. Kiba punched her palm, creating a very light shock wave effect. Alright, I want a good clean fight. Try not to kill each other. Fu said. If anyone gets too injured, the match is over. Got it? We accept, Ji said. Your terms are accepted, Kiba said, throwing her cloak to the side. Great, you can start clobbering each other now. Fu signaled. Go. As soon as Fu gave the word, Kiba rocketed toward the girls and headed right to Yaba. Yaba's eyes widened as she saw Kiba rush towards her at incredible speeds. Holy sure dash. Slam! Kiba's shoulder tackled Yaba, hitting her right in the chest, sending her flying at the wall, so hard it caused blood to fly out of her mouth. Sis! Inu cried out in shock and concern, but this was a mistake, as when she looked towards her sister, Kiba came running. Pow! Slam! Kiba punched Inu's sides, sending her flying at another wall. Ag! Inu cried out in pain, as she hit the wall, and slid down, spitting up blood all the while. Ji didn't have the same issue reacting, and she let out a stream of fire from her mouth, aimed right at Kiba. Kiba dashed to the right, avoiding the attack as it hit the floor where she had stood. She then ran around the jet of flames, and landed a mean right hook, right on Ji's cheek. Crack! Ack! Ji cried as her neck cracked, multiple bones in her face breaking on contact with Kiba's attack, as she was sent flying into the wall, right next to Yaba. Ack! Fuck! Yaba cried, as she pulled herself up, and wiped the blood away from her mouth. Shit, she hits hard. You think? Ack! Ji grunted, as she snapped her neck back into place, and let her regeneration fix her up. Brother wasn't kidding when he said they were dangerous. I think I would have died if it wasn't for our regeneration. Now that you've tasted my power, do you yield? Kiba asked, giving them a smug look. Inu gave her a fearful look. Maybe dash. Not a chance. Yaba interrupted her sister, before putting her hand on Ji's shoulder, taking a deep breath, and then unleashing a massive wave of fire from her mouth. Kiba jumped out of the way, of the much larger flame attack, only to be caught in another attack, as Ji unleashed her own flames from her mouth. Ack! Kiba grunted, as she was engulfed in fire. It wasn't as strong as Netz's flames, but it still hurt like heck, and it rent her naked as her clothes were burned away. Kiba rushed through the flames at top speed, and grabbed Yaba and Ji's heads, before smashing them together, breaking their focus and stopping their attack. Ow! The two didn't even get a chance to recover, before Kiba grabbed their hair, and smashed their heads against the wall. Slam! 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 Kiba continued slamming the two's heads against the increasingly bloodied wall until suddenly she felt two arms wrap around her stomach. Thud! Inu had come up from behind, and suplexed Kiba, slamming her head into the hard metal floor. Ow! Kiba winced, before Inu kicked her in the face, sending her rolling across the room. Ow! 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 Slam! Ow! Kiba groaned, as she smacked face first into the opposite wall. Are you two okay? Inu asked her sisters, as she pulled their flattened faces off the bloody wall. This was a mistake. Ji answered, as she and Yaba quickly started regenerating. Is that you throwing in the towel? Fu asked from the sidelines. Not a chance. Yaba growled before she turned around and unleashed another fire breath attack at Kiba, who was back on her feet. Kiba rolled out of the way, barely dodging the attack in time, before rushing towards the three girls. She was about to strike Yaba in the side of her face, but Ji came between them just in time and caught the punch in both hands. Slam! Gah! Ji grunted, as she planted her feet down on the ground as much as she could, but Kiba's strength was overwhelming her, and pushing her back, even though she was only using one arm. Kiba raised her other arm ready to strike Ji, but Yaba leapt forward and grabbed that arm, pulling it in the opposite direction. Gah! Ereg! Yaba struggled to hold Kiba's fist back. I can't do this for long. Just as Kiba was about to wrench her arm free, Ji unwrapped her tail from her waist and used its snake head to bite Kiba's leg. Ow, Kiba grunted, before glaring at G. If that's how you want to play it. Kiba then grabbed hold of both girls, and raised them into the air, before spinning around as fast as she could. Ugh! G groaned as she tried not to get sick from spinning so fast. Gonna, hurl. Yaba shut her mouth as she tried to fight down the urge to vomit. Begone! Kiba shouted as she let go, launching both girls to opposite sides of the room. Bonk! The two girls slammed into the metal walls once more, before falling to the ground, dizzy and sick to their stomachs. Heh! Whoa! Kiba grabbed her head. She wasn't immune to motion sickness either, and after coming to a sudden stop, now it was her turn to hold down her lunch. Whoosh! And then immediately, she was bathed in flame, from Inu's fire breath. Ow! 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 Ow wow! Kiba hissed, as the flames assaulted her once more. Kiba rushed towards Inu, and tackled her, squishing her against a wall so hard, it caused blood to fly out of her mouth. Ah! Inu cried out in pain, as she crumbled to the floor. Ha! Ha! Ag! Kiba grunted as she wiped off sweat that was dripping from every pore in her body, before falling to one knee. Meanwhile, Fu looked over the room, at all four of the girls. Ji and Yaba were both struggling to get up and not throw up thanks to the extreme dizziness. Inu was still on the floor, while her wounds had healed, the pain was still there. And Kiba was covered in small burn marks, sweating like there was no tomorrow, and definitely overheated. Alright, that's it, Fu called. That battle's over. Wah! No, I can still. Oh, waff. Yaba couldn't finish her objection, as suddenly she started vomiting all over the floor. Yeah, we're done. Ji groaned. I don't want to fight anymore. Inu cried. Normally I wouldn't give up so fast. Kiba panted. But I'll make an exception for you. Fu sent out some of Kyosei's tendrils, and grabbed the Cerberus sisters, but not Kiba, as her body was simply too hot. Alright Kiba, let's head to the new nurse. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Whoosh! Yaba, Ji, and Inu all stared with wide eyes, as Vera hit Kiba with a flamethrower, in the middle of the med bay. This continued for a couple of minutes until eventually, Vera let her finger off the trigger, and Kiba was revealed from under the flames, now completely free of burns, and 100% refreshed. Ah, so cool. Kiba felt like she'd been smothered in snow, in the best possible way. What the fuck? Yaba just said, too stupefied to say anything else. Little girls should not be cursing. Vera lightly scolded, as she set her flamethrower in her trunk, before taking out a jackhammer. Now let's heal her head and back. Yeah, her quirk basically makes it so she can make her actions do the reverse of what they're supposed to, Fu explained. So she can heal you with weapons and stuff. Interesting, Ji said, taking a close look as Vera started hammering away at Kiba's body. Grrrr. Oh. All three sisters groaned, as their stomachs rumbled something fierce. Need food. Now. Yaba groaned as she clutched her stomach. We had to regenerate so much, we used up so much energy, Ji explained while she also clutched her stomach. Guess I'll take you guys to eat while Kiba's doing this. Fu mused, before looking at the clock. Dad should be making food already, so let's just head down. Follow me. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Izuku looked down at his three sisters eating their hamburger steak and fries, noting how all three of them ate completely differently. Yaba ate similarly to how Yami ate when he first arrived, in the way one would expect a caveman to eat. Violently tearing apart her food with her teeth and hands, not bothering to use her utensils at all. Ji was a bit more civilized in that she actually used her utensils, but didn't seem to care about any form of etiquette. She would cut her food into huge chunks that would just barely fit in her mouth, before shoving it in there and chewing. Lastly, Inu ate like someone would expect a person to eat, cutting her food into small chunks before eating it. But despite being so different, they did share some similarities. Two in particular. 1, they all had a look of pure bliss on their face, and 2, they were all eating as fast as possible. Good, Yaba said through the food in her mouth, as a single tear went down her cheek. Ji moaned. Big brother, this is amazing. Inu shouted, before immediately getting back to eating. Izuka smiled, it was always nice to hear someone enjoy his cooking. I'm glad you like it. It's not much, but it's probably miles better than whatever cheap stuff that man fed you. Yow damn right, Yaba said with a full mouth. Please don't speak with your mouth full. Izuka sighed, before pulling out a napkin and whipping Yaba and Ji's mouths. And try not to get too much food on the floor. We don't have a janitor yet. Inu stopped, before giving Izuku a confused look. Then who's cleaning the training room? Izuku winced. Normally, whoever makes the mess cleans it up, but there's been a change in plan due to special circumstances. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX flesh off the training room wall and put them into a bag. Because I have to do this, as part of my community service, and father isn't cruel enough to make me do this alone. Yonda told her, as she furiously scrubbed the blood off another wall. And since you're an adult, who most of the time isn't doing anything, it's only natural that father would ask you to do this. That's not fair. Sori pouted. Just because you got punished, I get punished. You're an employee, this isn't a punishment, this is your job. Yonda deadpanned. Now less complaining and more working. I have to clean Esper's litter box after this, and that's somehow worse than this. Oh yeah, litter box, I used one of those once. Sori reminisced. Did not end well. Yonda paused for a second, as the image of that forced its way into her mind, making her shiver in disgust. She then looked over to the Blee with a looking of longingly. If only I could use this to clean my brain. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX and looking around at all the kids who were eating there as well. Man bro, you really do have a crap ton of kids, Yada said, as she popped a fry into her mouth. Yeah, and I'm just going to keep getting more and more, Izuka said proudly. It's a hard job, but it's worth it for all this. Izuka looked over all the children gathered, eating, talking, laughing, enjoying life. This was why he loved his job. Very impressive brother, Ji said, as she continued eating. By the way, what is your quirk? Izuka went stiff. Yeah, you never told us, bro? Yada inquired casually. Is it something like your mom's or like that bastard? Izuka sighed and took a deep breath. It's neither. I'm quirkless. Yada's and Inu's eyes went wide, while Ji looked mildly surprised. That's... Yada didn't really know what to say here. She'd never met a quirkless person before, and it was just so weird to think of someone not having a quirk. Izuka's expression sunk. I understand if you're disappointed. We're not disappointed. Inu shouted quickly, seeing her brother's mood drop. She wanted to ease his mind as much as she could. We were just surprised. Yeah, you're still cool bro, quirks aren't everything. Yada reassured him. You're rich, you're nice, you can cook, who cares if you don't have a quirk? I honestly don't really care. Ji shrugged. Izuka gave them a relieved smile. I'm glad you think so. Some people don't really like the quirkless all that much. Well, bro, we told ya, if anyone has an issue with you, they can take it up with us, Yaba told him confidently. It doesn't matter if you have a quirk when you have 3 badass sisters. Izuka laughed. I guess so. Thanks, I feel much better.